Hey everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can paint a really gorgeous painting of lavender. I think I called it lilacs at one point, but it's lavender. No, it is lilacs. Lilacs with Q-tips. So it's a really simple technique. It's very beginner friendly. I have, I don't know, 50, 60 of these lessons on my channel that are step-by-step. People make them all over the world. They're very effective. And if you're looking for something to do right now, this is terrific as a way to do it. Now, to help me do this on the mic is my husband, John. I see Beth Newell in the
There
chat
we go.
today, and
There
I
I
see
am.
Sharon O'Brien. Hey guys, how are you doing? So we're doing this a little different today. I'm kind of sitting down and resting.
Yep.
But also, this is a really nice way to demonstrate this, and I wanted to show you guys some of the Deco Art Americana. Now, I got a bunch of this stuff on sale. I think I had paid, one of them is actually tagged 77 cents a bottle. So I grabbed a bunch of it, and this is all Deco Art Americana. It's the type of paint that you kind of find in craft bottles. Now, this particular brand of the bottle paints is my personal favorite. And some things I really like about them is that they do have colors that I use on my show, like burnt sienna or ultramarine blue and dioxazine purple. You can actually find in this line the mixable, intermixable paints that I use. So very often you can find the exact color exchange. Today, we're going to just do a really simple thing. You could be at any level. You could be a little brush. You could be a big brush. It's going to be all good either way. I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to talk a little bit about the colors. And I'm going to be a little bit general here. And the reason I'm going to be general is I want you to use what you have at home. I don't want you to feel, obviously right now with everything that's going on, that you've got to run out and go shopping. I don't want you to have that feeling in any way. So we're going to talk about these in a more general sense so that you can use what's in your box. I'm going to read the chat real quick. Inge Tennant says, hi there, everyone. And Angie says, I have some deco in glitter and metallic. I challenge you to do this painting in glitter and metallics. I bet it would look gorgeous. There's probably an equivalent exchange. So right here, I have burnt sienna. But what you're looking for in whatever you have at home is just a reddish brown. I have my yellow ochre, which is kind of a yellow gold. I have my titanium white. I have my ebony black. This actually is lamp black, but you use whatever black paint that you have. I have a dark blue, a medium blue, and a light blue. I have a dark purple, a light purple, a bright pink, and a deep magenta. I have a bright yellow, a deep green, a light green, and more white. And I have bunches of Q-tips all bundled together so that I can be doing my little dab technique and get my fabulous painting. We're going to be doing some little lilacs that are coming up here and spreading out. You have seen them on my little wood surface. So we're going to be doing a version of that. And you're going to be really pleased. Plus, it's going to be some fun. Now I got wood all over my canvas. Okay, so I see Catherine Garcia saying hello. And not often I get to live, so yay to be here. Hi, Karina. It is very good to have you here, too. Now, one of the big questions I get asked all the time with Q-tips is that they go fuzzy. And I just want to let you know something you can do. If your Q-tips are getting fuzzy, what you would do is you would get them damp. And you can even put like mousse and stuff in it, but you get them damp and you twist them the direction of the cotton and you tighten them up and you let them dry. You can do it in your mouth too, but it gets gross. I call it mouth sizing. And that's the way to do that. So if your cotton buds are just turning into like full cotton balls, you just want to tighten them up. You can use a gel product because what you're trying to get is the dome shape and just enough absorbency to pick up the paint. You don't actually need the cotton. Cad, I'm not getting text alerts. Jennifer Burgess, I have no idea why. It's entirely possible that John didn't send one today. Things are a little crazy for us right now. And he might have forgotten to send one because he's going to be running. He's going to be popping in and out since I'm at the table. He's going to be popping in and out as he does things with the kids and around the house. And that's what moderator Cad Red is saying. Karen Ballard says, hello, everyone. Love watching you. And John, love your hair. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm loving my hair today, too. And so I'm glad I'm not alone. This is a watercolor pencil. Now, this particular one is Crayon d'Ache and might be a bit of overkill, but the reason I'm using this is it will blend into the surface. And I'm not even going to prep this. This is already white. I could paint it white again if I wanted to, but I'm just going to go right over the white surface. And I'm going to come about 1 inch from the bottom. And I'm going to be about 1 inch from the top. And this particular stem is going to be kind of straight up and down. And you can kind of see that I gave myself that little guide. Now, coming over here, I want a little friend. And I want the stems to tie almost right around here. So I've got to bring this line up and curve that way. It's going to be a little bit like a fleur-de-lis. Right, so if you're wondering how far up, it's about 3 fingers up. Same spot. And I'll pull that down, just a little bit of a curve. It'll let us get a bit of that fleur-de-lis feel that we want. So that's all it's going to take. Now, we like to do wishes and intentions. And so my wish is that while we're all social distancing, we are okay. I mean, it's just really simple. We are all okay, whatever that means, because we're all impacted in deeply different ways. Now, the bundles of Q-tips today, I just do them in bunches of 3, 4, and 5, and then have individual ones. So, and I use little tiny rubber bands. I can, however, if I don't have rubber bands and have done, just hold them with my fingers. So if you don't have rubber bands, don't worry about it. I'm only using 1 brush today. And I'm using a Simply Simmons brush today. So this is a very economical brush. You can get these a lot of places, a lot of craft stores. You could get a Royal and Langnickel. You don't have to have the most expensive brush on the planet. Though I do love my brushes, don't you? I love them. Okay. Della Maria Easel says, hello all from California. And Faith says, do you only do beginners? No, well, okay, yes, Faith, in a sense, because I always explain what I'm doing, even if it's an 8-hour lesson and the techniques are advanced. I don't demo, which means I don't go silent or play music or expect you to know the techniques. I do talk through everything I'm doing. So I consider everything I'm doing beginner, but I have what a lot of people feel is advanced. The community can weigh in on this. I have some very complicated, long, involved, fun products that you can do. And after this, we're going to go on the Facebook and do a watercolor. So I don't even just do acrylic. Now I'm going to take my brush. I got a little water on it, and I'm going to load a little brown and a little black. And you'll notice that these have nice intermixability. I'm going to come along the canvas. I'm going to make just a very light line. As I come down to where the stem is, I'll thicken it. I'm just going to thicken it. And you can see it's like a chocolatey brown, almost a black. It's really nice. Sometimes I will rinse out just so the flow stays good. You don't really need that much water with the craft paints, with the fluid paints. And you know, you don't have to use this brand. You could be using another brand of craft paint. This is just the one that I like. It's just my favorite. You might have a different favorite. Now, one of my little tips here is when I'm doing my little stems that are going to be tied together, I like to make them a little bit uneven so that these two are shorter and that one is longer, if you can see that. It gives a nice effect. Are those fluid paints? These are, well, yes, technically these are, because they're in the craft bottle. So acrylic comes in hard, heavy-bodied, which is very stiff, and the paint really holds its shape, and it squeezes out in a tube like the consistency of almost toothpaste. Then there's soft-bodied or fluid paints, and they come in bottles, and they self-level. And then there's high-flow or fluid or ink, and they are thin like liquid watercolors. So those are the kind that we have. Taking that up, not worried too much about it. You can see it's very chill, right? We got some sticks. That's all you got to get. You don't have to have perfect sticks. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And again, I want you to use what you have in your house because I understand you may not be able to go anywhere today. Right? You may be home. I'm going to take a little white and add it to my yellow ochre color. And I'm going to come along the outside of my stick and add just a bit of a highlight. This is going to help it feel like wood. I just want to make it dimensional. Because just because I'm doing craft paint doesn't mean I won't do like a really lovely painting that has layers and techniques. I will. I'm just going to use this paint. Patricia says, I love deco art. I use them for years. Yeah, so I have in my Facebook group on Facebook, it's the TheArtSherpa official. I have a file of all the paint, like literally all the paint, the colors I use, every brand of paint. out there. And then I also have the ones that I like, and Deco Art is the craft brand that I recommend. If you're going to do a craft brand, I think that they are a good company and they're highly reliable, very invested in their consumer, but they also make a really good product. I also think they have some of the best pouring products out there right now. Don't do a lot of that on the show. Drinking my kombucha, right? Staying healthy. I don't think it's going to protect me from anything, but it's nice to have it's the watermelon kombucha. I don't know. I drink it all the time. I've been watching you for months now, and I love your style and that John helps during your videos. I draw a lot of inspiration from you. That's Safina. Hi, Safina. How are you doing? I hope you are being safe. So our center little bud right there, let's get our little bunch of 3 Q-tips, and we're going to make sure that they're kind of leveled. I'm going to tap this up and down into my purple, and I'm going to come up and tap it a little bit up into my blue. I like the deco because it is intermixable, and I'm going to just go up and down. You can see it's an up and down motion, and what you should be getting are these little dots that kind of look like little flowers. They really actually work really well. I will thicken this wonderful fellow as I go up, and there's definitely layers. I might get into the mid blue as I go up. You can kind of see that that's happening there. And the difference maybe between this and like my golden fluid paint is that I might come back and kind of paint out the stem a little bit as the paint dries. Come back with some purple and blend it in. Come back with my dark blue. Let's get some more dark blue coming up. Bring some of these little flowers out as they do. Because we really want to create a flower that has like a little shape and a little perspective. Now, as I come up to the top, I may kind of get on the edge of my Q-tips, and I will tap back and forth. I'm making a kind of tapered shape, right? Because these are a bit of a spike shape, so they widen out and they go into these delicate little tips, and that's kind of nice. So there that is. That looks pretty good. Basic, right? The basic shape of that. Amy says, can you use something other than Q-tips? This would work with balled up saran wrap. I don't actually think a balled up aluminum foil works that good. There's too much reworking that you've got to do, but balled up saran wrap works really well. Little sponges would work really well. You could just dab with a brush, or, you know, just very like, kind of like a mandala, you know, going up there. Either is good. I'm going to get another little bunch, because I have little bunches here and there. This is a nice little bunch of 3.
Do you need any more bunches?
I might, if you want to give me fresh bunches.
If you need fresh bunches, I'm here and can get them for you.
I would love. Fresh bunches are always good. My bunches are old. I have found that Q-tip bunches do age out. I'm using a little white now and some of my lighter colors. I just don't have the rubber bands.
Oh,
who knows?
Oh, well, that's a horse of a different color,
isn't it? It's a horse of a totally different color. And I'm just going to go between my dark blue, my middle blue, my light blue, some white. You know, definitely, I like to work some dark purple in there. One of the fun things you can do if you're trying to really darken your purple is put a little magenta in it. Because, again, these paints are very intermixable. You know, I'll flip my Q-tips over sometimes, and I'm going to get into my very light color with my white. And make sure that the tip of this is just a little bit light. And you can always even maybe lighten some little areas. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? There's a little spike. Oh, fresh Q-tips. Fresh from the stun hands. Palm Beach County, what color is that? So the colors I have are ultramarine blue. This is their true blue, which is kind of, it's almost their phthalo. It's kind of their middle blue. And then I have their whispering turquoise, which is sort of an ice blue. But what I want you to use what you have. If you have watercolors, I want you to use what you have. What's really important is just to go, I have a deep reddish brown, a kind of a yellow gold, and a black. I've got a dark blue, a middle blue, and a light blue. I've got a dark purple, kind of a brighter purple, a pink, a deep pink. got yellow, I've got a deep green, a light green, and whites. And just try to get those ranges. You could mix them. I want you to be able to just do what you can do staying home. That's the big... Are you gaff taping me? These are not usable. You can't do that. That's not usable. John just punched me. Okay, so this is a good example. So this wouldn't work totally terrifically because every Q-tip is at a different level. And if they're at a different level, really only this one is going to engage the canvas. It could be a shaping tool. Now, this really kind of needs to dry before we layer the next ones on there. So what I can do while it's drying, because I don't think I have a hairdryer set up over here brilliantly, I'm going to get a little more white in my yellow gold, and I'm going to come here and work my stem a little bit more. You know, really exaggerating these values. Do little dashing strokes, short strokes. These are little short strokes. See those? I'm going to wipe off on my paper towel, and then I'm going to get some of my burnt sienna, and I'm going to dash some of these little strokes. See how they're little dashing strokes? You're good. You can dash them. I hope this is at least a distraction, something to do. We've been doing watercolors and projects that I can't necessarily do on YouTube, on Facebook. So if you want to do something after that, we're going to be coming after that. We're going to go there and do one. Does the TheArtSherpa have any swamps or landscapes, says Lindsay Herbert. Oh, yes. Many, many. Many, many, many. I don't know if they would be searchable by swamp, and I'll have to look at that on the tagging. But if you look at the boy fishing, that was probably the most recent one, and that was definitely kind of like a mangrove type of swamp. So, oh, thank you. You are amazing. He's going to hit mute on me. You love it? He's going to hit mute. Sandy says, nothing for us to do. Had to go to the mail for toilet paper. Found some, yay, but 90% of the stores are closed. It's creepy. It's a little scary out there, right? Nice time to have to sit and paint, because I don't know about you. I'm anxious. I think it's normal to feel a little bit anxious right now. I'm not saying I'm panicking, but it's a little worrisome. It's a little worrisome. And I think it's okay to be a little worried. All right, you ready to hit me with the hairdryer?
Yeah. So while she's doing that, I'm going to say, hey, everybody. I'm going to notice that my mic is just a little low. I'm going to see if I turn that up a little bit. There we go. So, how are you guys doing? This is a crazy Q-tip thing here that Cinnamon is doing here on a Thursday afternoon. So, I think that's pretty cool that we can just...
Ooh, there we go.
Jam in.
All right. Karina says, I can't wait to do your zebra. I have my rock and rainbow zebra and the sloppy. Sloppy. Because, you know, what you need in a cup of coffee is a sloth. That's about how I'm feeling these days.
That's how I feel. Like a sloth bathing in coffee.
Hi, Karen. All right. So we did that one, and we can go into the pink now. And we have lots of different sizes and bundles. I'll use one of the ones that John so kindly bundled up for me, because love. I'm going to take a little of that deep pink, that magenta color, and mix it into my purple. And I'm going to come here and start to layer the pink spike that's going to come over this way. And you can see how they layer on top of each other. This is going to get quite full. This was a design I had done for pinners, and then I can't tell you how many things happened with that whole series of videos and events. But I'm really glad I had the design, and I'm getting to share this with you today on canvas. I think that's really fun. You guys like that? Amanda Murphy says, hello, much love. Hello, Amanda, much love back. If you are with a little brush today, I want to say hi to all the little brushes. You know, hopefully lots of creative stuff to do, lots of things to do with our little brushes.
Beverly was asking if you have ever done a 3D butterfly. And I guess that's what do you mean by 3D?
Well, probably a butterfly that looks hyper realistic. And yes. I've got several. What I would do is I would search butterfly and see which one that you're liking the best. I might get a little blue and purple into this down here at the bottom, just to kind of deepen this. That would be my suggestion. And there's certainly more butterflies coming up. Always fun to do the dark values and get them going here. Maybe a little of the mid-tone purple. And then, you know, as we go into the pink, we can always get a little pink and white. Maybe a little of this pink and white. So you can just mix them up because flowers are very colorful. As I come out to the edge, I can come on just one. And I like to sort of tap them out and make that shape. You see, and you can even pinch these and make them be like, oh, you will do what I say. My world is out of control, but you will behave on my canvas. Little Q-tip of lilacs. You know, tip that over. A little bit of white into this mix. You know, getting a little white and pink. Always super fun. Saying that there's lighter colors here, brighter colors here. And maybe a little dark pink. That dark pink going. Lots of color options. I do think it's a nice idea to refine the edge of the lavender spike near the purple. Rebecca Hoffman says, I'm sad I'm late. I had to feed the doggies and take them out. Anyways, hello to everyone. Well, you got to take your doggies out, Rebecca. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming by to our little impromptu live stream. There we go. Oh, John, nobody got a notification. Did we send out gnomes? Okay.
Gnomes say they went out.
Well, then maybe they did and they're going out and staggered.
They may be going slow. Slow gnomes.
Maybe the gnomes are using social distancing. I don't think social distancing is funny. I just think life is going crazy. And I don't think people being sick is funny. I just think the gnome social distancing is funny.
Well,
just to
humor
put
is a
it
very...
into context, I'm trying to get through with some humor on this.
Yeah.
It's very intense every day.
I think that's probably the a very good, reasonable way of going in things.
Maybe I'll get some yellow into that a bit and kind of come into my pink here and make some of this sort of interesting there at the tip, right?
Yeah, our gnomes seem to be super slow.
Sometimes they're a little bit of white. So you just layer, like everything else in acrylic, it's just layers. Use your sponges, use your Q-tips, whatever you need to use. Guess what we get to do on the other side?
What's that?
Same thing.
Mm.
Can this be done in watercolors? Yes, Lourdes. The trick with this, if you're going to do it in watercolors, is to take your watercolor and thin it to a very watery but yet pigmented consistency. The Doc Martens, the dye-based watercolors sometimes are great for this. And you just do the same exact thing, and it works just as beautifully. Sometimes I think better. It's wonderful, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Maybe this one will be more of this pink and this pink together, and I'll start down here. I might need to dry that so that I can layer, and John can say hi to you. I'm tipping over.
Where did it go? Oh, no. Ah. There it goes. I found the button. So, yeah, gosh, I am just so glad to see everybody here today. This is an unexpected live for us. You know, we're multitasking, getting ready for Acrylic April, and this surprise stuff just came upon us. And Cinnamon was like, we should do more lives in the community. And I was like, I like lives. We should do more. So we did.
We did.
And we're here.
Well, we were doing them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they were going really well. And we're doing one right after this. For those of you that like watercolor. We've done crayons over there. Some of the stuff that maybe is a little harder to get away with on YouTube anymore. There we go. Just fill that in, right? Little flowers. And you can just keep getting the white and the pink and the white and the pink together maybe. And they make a nice light color. So see, these are very intermixable. They're very doable. Just use what you have in your house. You know, I hear a lot that there's this feeling like if I don't have the material, I can't do the project. And what I would love to challenge you to, especially while we're all going through this, is that there's a lot of ways to accomplish any art project. You can see I'm just sort of tipping them, so that's how I get the tapering. Make sure that those are all very tippy. Sometimes I turn these over if I need to. Maybe a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit of this. Oh, there's some dark purple here at the side. Sometimes dark purple happens, right? Look at that. There you go. Okay, any little color that you want involved in there. Play. Just create those little shapes. And it's amazing how quickly they become little fat lilacs, isn't it? Little fat lilacs.
Yeah.
You know? Little chubby, wonderful lilacs. You can always come back and hit another little bit of the dashing for your burnt sienna.
Now you called these lavender in the title.
Did I?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to fix it and say lilacs. No idea.
What's the difference between lavender and lilac? They look.
I think it's a whole different flower.
They look very similar.
You know, there's a lot happening in my life. I was just like, I don't know, some flowers tied together, thumbnails.
Purple flower day.
It's a purple flower day. We're just doing a purple flower. You know, we're just doing a purple flower while we're doing our time at home. That's really nice. Now, you can always come back with your dark color. Dark colors give us a lot of drama. You know, and go ahead and tash that in. And that should give us a lot of like, ooh, that's like a very stemmy, right?
Yeah.
Very, very stemmy. Now, I'm going to dry again. Dry. And then we'll do a ribbon and some leaves and all.
And we'll add a cute little ribbon at the bottom of that. And maybe some bows. And I think that'll look pretty good. She's got her... I'm curious, though, what she's going to put that in with. Whether she'll use a brush or some other creative modality here. I think she'll probably use a brush. So, look over here. Hey, everybody, there's a lot of you guys. Oh, so lavender grows on the ground and lilacs grow on a bush.
Oh.
That's something to know.
That's something we now know. That I think I probably knew if I thought about it, but I don't know about you, but my headspace has been all over the place.
You know.
All over the place. All over the place. I've got friends all over the world, as many of us do because of the internet. So this makes everything feel very close to home, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know our friends, you know, especially in online art communities like on YouTube, we have friends in every time zone all over the world. And so everything feels like it's part of our family and connected directly, and it's definitely, you know, gotta breathe deep. All right. So one thing I can control is how dark this green is going to be. So I'm going to take my burnt sienna and my green together, and I'm going to make kind of a very dark forest green. Sometimes it can be nice to even add the blue to it. See how it just deepens it a lot? Yeah. And we're going to put in some leaves, and it's really just about pulling down the brush stroke, right? These little sort of, sometimes you grab more green, sometimes you get some of the brown in it. What you want to do is just make sure that what you're doing has lots of variation. And so that is some dark. I saw, Amanda Murphy says it's been a scary couple of weeks. Breathe, girl. Let's all breathe. It's going to be okay. Yeah. I don't know how, and I don't know the path through, but it's going to be all right. Marie and Claire said, I love you. I did the fluffy bunny painting. That's awesome. I love the fluffy bunny painting. My son's back. Hardline is a forest of lilacs so deep and thick. I think I read two things. I don't know. I'm confused by that. I'm going to be really honest, Beth. I think I read that comment right. I think I personally failed. I rinsed out a little bit, and I'm going to get some of this green into my yellow. You can get some of your bright green. I definitely want to grab white because I always like makes things bright. And let's, maybe highlight some of these deeper greens We've still got to put in some bright, bright green. But now our base of leaves has a bit of some value. So we rinse that out thoroughly.
Some layers.
Some layers. Because just because we're doing deco doesn't mean we're not going to layer. We love deco.
Yeah.
Deco works. Hey, I want to say something to you guys.
What do you guys
Craft
say?
paint is real paint.
It is.
It's not imaginary. You didn't hallucinate it. It's not a hologram sitting on the shelves. It's real paint. And there are real artists that work in craft paint. It just has properties, tendencies, personality.
Right.
And everybody picks products and mediums and paints that fit their personality, and they know what they look for, and it's all okay. It's all okay. All right.
There we go. So yeah, just take your time. This is a one of those little projects where you don't have to worry about rushing along because the layers, you're just dry between them. You can take a little break if you need to and come back. So just know that these are little steps you can take. Oh, hold on.
Apple says, I've been teaching myself how to paint to combat depression. I've never been able to art, but this last month your videos have been helpful. Thank you. Well, thank you for taking up painting as part of your well-being program. I think that's awesome. And I'm so happy to have you. We're doing watercolors over on Facebook. Come by. You might like that too. It's fun, isn't it? I'm going to use my bright greens now. So I'm taking my yellow into this green. I'm going to get a little white into it. You're going to see that this is going to be quite bright. You know, we can even get these two together. We're going to do the bright layer.
Oh, I realized, like, in a tidal wave, what's going on. I forgot to have another cup of coffee.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I think we're just down to kombucha, baby.
I think I'm down.
I'm going to take some of these leaves around. I feel like it's fun on a composition like this to
I think
sprinkle some leaves.
They look like little fluttery leaves. Like they got
do,
loose.
Right?
Yeah.
So, again, you're using whatever you have at home. Whatever. Just whatever you have at home. Whatever your favorite colors are. Make sure you have some dark value, a medium value, and a light value. It's almost like we're doing monochromatic painting. Karina says one of the reasons she loves acrylic is you don't have to wait to fix it. And I have to agree, that's one of the things I love about acrylic as well. I keep throwing my hairdryer away. So hi.
You just got to make sure that between layers you thoroughly dry, and part of that is so that you don't drag the paint with you when you do the next layer. So if you don't dry it thoroughly, it'll just skin over, and the wet paint will still be wet and mushy underneath. So it'll sometimes tear that little skin right off, and then you get paint skin on everything. So you got to make sure it's dry.
Hey, Beth Mulligan used the cat's tongue brush for my TheArtSherpa line last night to paint a basket of lilacs hanging from a doorknob.
Huh.
That is very cool. I was making doorknob jokes until something happened on the internet that made it not funny, and now I'm not.
I was going to say, that's totally an appropriate use of a doorknob.
It is an appropriate use of a doorknob, the correct use of a doorknob. I'm taking my purple into my darkest blue. I may even add a little bit of my deep kind of magenta color here, and you see it's giving me a very dark color. And let's paint a little bit of an upward kind of like curve stroke here. And then we're going to do a little upward kind of curve stroke here. That's the start of something. And bring it around like this. Going to just begin a bow, right? And then a nice big wide area where the bow is tied. And what I'm really wanting to do is just make sure that my surface is covered. So when I go to shade it, I've got lots of room for shading. I'd like to have a nice big bow. And then I'm going to do some nice little lyrical kind of woo strokes. Saying my ribbons are very playful, coming off my can I post? Amanda Murphy says, can I post pictures on the TheArtSherpa Facebook page? Yes, actually, they have a community posting area. And it's real cute. I don't have days or anything over there. It's just, it's just a fan page and people come share what's going on. I think the only thing I ever remove is when people spam. Like, there's really no need for you to know what's on sale at the grocery store on my page. So those do come down, but everything else is fine. We only curate the group and just the one big group. I'm really trying to rinse out that purple. It was highly pigmented. So for the next part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of this blue right here, and I may get some white into it, just so we can really see it. Mix a half tone between these two. And let's start to talk a little bit about this top bit. That top bit. Just giving it a little value, and then maybe a little bit right here on the inside. So we have some dark and some light. I like to kind of play with that feeling and the beginning of a highlight there. Does magenta darken every other color? It does. If you have a very deep magenta and it's well pigmented, it should deepen the color. So, there's two ways to deepen colors. You have contrast, right? So if I use the burnt sienna into my green, there's an element of contrasting because there's so much red in a burnt sienna. It darkens it very much. So that's one way. Also just a deep value. A lot of times people add black to darken, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like to use color to darken. It's a preference that I have. Okay. Oh, Sandy says that color made a huge difference on the bow. Yeah, the bow is like a little unfortunate at first, and then you get color, and then it gets better.
I think the bow looks really pretty. I like that color.
I'm going to come just on the tip of my brush and kind of put a few reflections right there, trying to say, oh, it's a little bit shiny. Make sure that I have these little highlights that are happening. Even within the highlights. Highlights within highlights, right? Because even as we, just like we did the stems, we have lots and lots and lots of room, right? To make everything work. We're coming kind of to the end, guys.
Wow.
We'll just do little touches up. I like to touch up with any little deep value where it's needed. Make sure it's well painted and there's good coverage. So now we have good coverage and everything is kind of cheerful and wonderful. All right, so keep checking on the channel. We're going to be having some Acrylic April stuff coming up. I had a really good suggestion. I just haven't had a chance to talk to John about it to see if we can do it. But keep checking on the channel as we come up to Acrylic April. Remember, April 1st to April 30th, there'll be a new painting every day for a 30-day challenge. So if you're home for 30 days, it's something you could do. And if you're still feeling like painting, go by the TheArtSherpa Facebook fan page because we're going to do a really cute cactus pear watercolor over there. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.